289-foot hole, downhill, so it's going to play like 250. Normally a putter shot, but I don't have a putter that holds turn, so I have to throw a mid-range softer, but because I'm throwing it softer, I have to throw it nose-up anhyzer.
A little bounce back.
Hole 2 calls for a slight left to right shot shape, just under 300 feet. I can throw a mid-range a little softer instead of throwing a putter hard and make the gap a little easier. However, I wait too long for the guy ahead of me and I shank it. The video was corrupt, but I missed this putt, tapped in a par. 348, let's call it 350. I have to throw a mid-range pretty hard to get there on hyzer, so I opt for a fairway, one that I know I can throw, commit to, and it'll still fade at the end.
Oh, what the heck? Hit a root.
Hole 4 here, if you throw a forehand low, you only have to miss the thickness of the trees. If you throw it higher, then you have to miss all the branches as well. So the smartest shot is a low left to right shot, and I just got a really bad skip here. I should be making this one, but honestly, people were throwing in on me. It's hard to focus on the basket in front of you when you got discs flying at you from behind. This is a bummer. Could have been 3 under, 3-4. Hole 5, 565 feet, par 4. Just get it to the left, and I forgot I didn't bring my force today, so I'm throwing a destroyer and I shank it, trying to put it on a steeper hyzer than I normally do. Left with somewhere between 3 and 350 to the pin. All I know is I need a disc that goes straight all the way, somehow doesn't hit anything.
Good.
We're gonna call this one a par. Honestly, the guys are literally throwing in on me while I'm putting. Hard to focus. 312, that's putter distance. However, it's a low ceiling and a gap, a tighter gap. I want to make sure I hit this clean, so I'm going to throw a more controlled shot with a mid instead and slow down a little bit. Just try to get a nice super straight flight out of a slightly understable mid. And seeing if the putter would have done it. Exact same shot, exact same place.
Get through it. I didn't hit the exact same spot in the tree. Same tree, same spot.
So if I have an obstructed putt, sometimes I will actually line up a hyzer putt and then try to do the opposite amount of anhyzer on the left side of the basket instead.
Oh, wow. Like that?
I had to splice hole 7 and 8 because I skipped them because of the guy that was throwing so many shots in front of me. So pace of play, I had to throw hole 7 and 8 in the dark. I know it looks bright on camera, something about the exposure, but it was not bright at all.
Stupid hole earlier.
Unfortunately, my phone died on the upshot at hole 7, so I didn't get the rest of hole 7 or hole 8. But hole 9 was recorded before because hole 7 and 8 were the last holes. 250-foot hole 9 uphill. When I come to a hole like this, I look at the trajectory. It's about 20 degrees upwards, so for every 100 feet of distance that I throw forward, I have to throw another 20 feet harder. That's how I roughly gauge it, is if it's about 20% uphill, I have to throw about 20% harder. So I have to throw 120 feet to get 100 feet. I have to throw 240 feet to get 200 feet. So if it's a 250-foot uphill hole at about 20% elevation, then do the math. That means that this 250-foot hole plays like 300. I have plenty of airspace. That means there is no reason not to throw a putter because a putter is what I throw for 300-foot shots. That was a little longer than I meant that to be, but that's what I'm going through in my head when I'm thinking how to throw a hole that has elevation.
No way he's throwing over and over from out of bounds. It's already tapped in. He's going to get all his multiple discs.
Of course, there would be a child running straight into the fairway as I'm throwing that forehand, and I have to last second shank it in the ground.
Not run into the fairway, dude.
Not too happy I have to throw a forehand to save par. At this point, I'm like, whatever, this round sucks. I wish I had thrown a real drive here because I could have birdied this if I just thrown a regular backhand, but I was like, whatever, this round's trash. So I just started messing around. The smartest play here is backhand Anheuser, just go over everything. But
one tree
didn't get over everything, so I had to throw a scramble flex shot. And then I thought it was a gimme, but had to make it somewhat of a putt. 218, tight line. I normally throw a Firebird here, but I wanted to throw a mid-range so it wouldn't go as long, and I still went just past the pin. Hole 14 here, my usual play is to tell myself, do what I did on hole 10, but as I'm lining up the throw, I'm going to throw, I remember, oh shoot, I shanked hole 10, and that was in my mind when I threw my drive here for 14, so yeah. Camera cut out on me here. I didn't realize when I walked into this shot, I could have just thrown a zone, but
really dumb of me to not.
Instead, I thought it was a flex shot with a destroyer. I was too lazy to go back to my bag, so I left with 25, 28 foot downhill death putt for a par.
Don't know how that stayed in. From the side view, I thought it was a scramble with a driver or something. Hack a shot, flex it out there. Turned out to be a nice easy upshot that I shanked because I used a destroyer. And I still saved par, so that's good.
Hole 15, so my play here, throw it out to the left in the Scotch broom, just pitch up on the par 4 position for an easy birdie. I've been playing Steilacoom for years, and I want to play it how I normally play it, even though the pin position is not there. I'm still going to throw to it, and I will count it as a birdie if I bullseye, which I do here. Easy. If I'm going to compare my best round to my best round, it has to be on the same layout, so that's why anytime I'm having a really good round, or think I might, I throw to the normal position that my previous best round was at. Downhill shot here, and my goal is just to push it straight down there. It is way darker than it looks on camera. As soon as I threw this shot, I lost the disc. It was too dark. About 400 feet downhill, tight line, just throw a fairway that goes 350 to 400, and downhill it should give me a little more distance, so I shouldn't have to throw it at full power. At this point, I'm just getting trolled by kids running around and a guy throwing on me, literally throwing at me right now as I'm throwing. So I'm like, you know what? If I take in my time, this is an easy par. Not even a hard par save.
We're gonna call that a par. It's way darker than it looks on camera.
Now I'm realizing 6 under, 4 holes to go. Probably won't get 7 or 8, but there's a chance. All I have to do here is 470 foot hole. All I have to throw is a slightly turned, kind of hard drive here.
So dumb. It was ace running, and it hit this tree right there, and now there's dogs.
Still getting trolled even by dogs.
That was almost an ace run.
356 and play slightly uphill, so plays like 370, 380. I just want a clean shot, the straightest shot I can throw. The slight turn is my FD1. I'm trying to avoid bogey and get maybe a circle 2 birdie. I know this isn't going to be the perfect shot, but the perfect shot risks hitting an early tree, so I'm just going to throw this soft turning FD1 super straight flyer and yeah, go 50 feet long. Should have birdied 4 and 5, but the people were throwing at me as I was putting, hard to focus. Missed the chains by about 1 inch from the bushes on hole 8. Wish I had a do-over in hole 10 when the kid ran in the fairway on my drive. I should have focused and thrown a real shot on hole 11, gotten the birdie there. I should have gotten 4, 5, and 11, which would have brought me to 10 under. Just getting trolled all day here. I could have definitely thrown hole 8, 10, and 14 better, and I shouldn't have had to throw hole 7 and 8 in the dark. I could have shot 10 under reasonably. I also had 3 circle 2 putts that I could have made, opportunities to get me to 13 under. Not quite reasonable, but they were opportunities. If I just focused, that 7 under could have been a 10 under with 3 extra birdies I should have gotten if I didn't just stop caring mid-round. 3 circle 2 opportunities to get me to 13 under. If I gave myself a do-over when the kids kept running in front of me, maybe 2 extra chances at a birdie. My potential this round was between 10 and 15 depending on whether I focused or not. I like to track what my round is, what my round should have been, and then what it could have been if I was really on that day. And then I will track the highest potential round I could have shot if all the stars align. Today, even though I only shot 7 under, I had 10 to 13, maybe even 15 under if everything went right. And that is what is important to me is, am I getting better? I have potential. I just need to not choke and focus. Sometimes you can't always see progress. Your score might not change, but if you look at the potential of your round potential, your opportunities you give yourself may go up even though you have the same score. I do this so that sometimes if I shoot a 4 under, it can feel really good. Other days, I shoot a 7 under and it's a poor performance. For that day, in those wind and rainy conditions or whatever else, what is the best round you can shoot that day? This particular day, my true potential was between 10 and 15 under, and if I could just substitute an MPO player into putt, if I just stole an MPO player and had him putt for me, this round would have been 10 to 15 under. Anyways, that's what goes through my mind when I throw these shots, the distances, the lines, what I'm thinking of mentally, this and that. This is how I both play my rounds as well as evaluate them afterwards. If you're struggling with shot selection or how to evaluate your rounds afterwards, I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and I will make more of them.